We are back in a gloomy episode 41. This is actually quite dark there for you. It's been raining here for the past couple of days in Texas. TikTok banned. This is a move from Meta this week. An appeals court is upholding the ban on TikTok. So we'll dive into that a little bit. Intel CEO, again, Intel. You kind of want to love it, but hate it all at the same time. CEO is out after 3 years. And then I figured capping off this week, continuing the Bitcoin struggle to stay above 100K, talk a little about meme coins. I think it's the age of meme coins. And so that might be kind of fun to talk about. So there we go. Episode 41.
It is not gloomy here, but it was gloomy last week. I think I was talking to someone and it didn't click until they said this, but I said it was cold, rainy, and because they live east here, they live, a bit close to where you are. I said, okay, well, we'll get that weather in a couple of days. So yeah, you're getting my weather now since I'm here in the Pacific Northwest. But yesterday it was sunny. And
Was
the
it?
last 2 days have been
Okay.
pretty sunny and cold, I guess, or not as cold as the previous weeks, which you have to look forward to this week.
Yeah, it's been raining. I was like, wow, why has it been raining? I had plans this weekend, and it's like kind of all shot because it's just been constantly raining and cold. And I know that's normal for Seattle, right? It's like you have your raincoats, and it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, rain or shine or snow, you can go out. But here, I'm like, I'm not going out.
Yeah.
Instead. You see about the earthquake too in Northern California?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there was a Category 7 earthquake in Northern California, and they issued this huge tsunami warning, even though eventually there was no tsunami, which is a good thing. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess if it was
California, Northern California area, they get quite a lot of earthquakes, right? Even though there may be like more micro earthquakes.
Yeah. There's in my almost 3 years there, I've only actually felt a couple.
And it was actually felt them though, which is something.
Yeah, it was actually sudden shakes. It's like it was just like a sudden shake and everything shook in the house. Like, what was that? I didn't actually realize it was an earthquake, and then you have to go in the news or whatever, and then there was like a 5 off like the coast of wherever San Jose was, or inland a bit. There's a fear of living in San Francisco actually. That was just always constantly in the back of my head. It's like, what do I do if there's an earthquake? You don't really think about that in Texas. Like the worst thing here is like hail, maybe a tornado, but tornadoes, I've only ever remembered one that actually happened within the city, right? Yeah.
That's one of the things that's a concern here though in the Seattle area. Apparently Seattle's like on a plate or on like two plates that are next to each other. And they always talk about the big one that, one day will come.
Yeah.
And I would say like Seattle's not prepared for an earthquake because we've never really had one, even though we should have. And yeah, that'd be pretty, I'm scared of that one as well.
Yeah. When I was ever evaluating moving to Seattle, or when I was looking at roles in Seattle, there was this one article, I guess, that has been around for a while. It's about Seattle and how it's just the way the city is situated within the Puget Sound. It just makes it very prone to not just earthquakes, but also like any tsunamis that happen. Whereas San Francisco apparently is not prone to tsunamis, even though you would assume it is. It's just because the way the bay is shaped, there'd be minimal damage to the city if there was a tsunami, which I thought was quite interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that news has been 40 plus years old.
That's what makes it more concerning, right? It seems everybody is like you're 100 years late or due, right? So,
yeah.
Anyways,
all right. Let's talk about the first story here. The Federal Appeals Court upheld the TikTok ban. So we all know about this news that can't remember. Was this like a Trump era thing or a Biden era thing?
Like I think Trump said he wanted to ban it, and then he kind of flip-flopped during the election. I'll call it Biden under Biden's term. It actually happened. Yeah.
So I think it was very early on, probably like 2 or 3 years ago, right? Where we wanted to do something about TikTok because if you don't know, TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, and there's concerns around like data privacy, etc., because China owns it, and there's thoughts that they could be doing something with the data or spying on the U.S. All those things that we hear about regarding U.S. China tensions.
Yeah.
And so when the administration did this, they had ordered TikTok to sell their company to a U.S. owned company within a certain amount of time frame, and otherwise it would be banned from the U.S. so no one would be able to access TikTok. Well, they appealed that, obviously, and the federal court has upheld the law requiring TikTok to be sold to a U.S. company. So this gave a big pop to Meta. Meta went, and if you look at the chart, you can see, there's insider information about this that was, going to happen, because it started rising pretty big before the sneeze even came out.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, to close the week, let's see, Meta was up 8.6% to close the week because of the sneeze. So big ups to Meta stock holders. I think we had our Meta plays when it was in the 550, 560 range, and so that's paying off now.
Yep. Yeah, I will say it's comfortably above. I think 600 was kind of like that psychological level that it's been bouncing as resistance, and now it's cleanly above that. So we'll see. Hopefully, maybe it retests depending on TikTok. You're right, as you said, the CEO said they're planning to appeal it to Supreme Court. So who knows? Like, if it's rejected, then I'm sure that'll pull back maybe a bit. Snap was also up. So, yeah, we'll see. The saga continues for TikTok.
Yeah, because the law was signed by Joe Biden in April of this year. I thought it was like last year.
Yeah, it's been going on forever. Yeah, but only recently.
Yeah, I feel like it's been going on forever. But the stipulation there was they had a year to offload the company to the U.S. company.
Yeah.
So now I think they're probably going to try to appeal again.
Yeah, to the Supreme Court.
And that's what happened, right? In these big court cases, people just appeal and just delay it until eventually you have enough evidence to change the verdict.
Yeah, we'll see if Trump pushes it or if Trump gives up on it, I guess.
You think he will? Because he was a pretty strong proponent for it.
Well, he's kind of like flip-flopped, right? I think with Trump, it feels like he doesn't want to do anything that's super unpopular or where people are not vocal about it. If that makes sense, right? And so if like all the people on Gen Z and, all the MAGA folks who use TikTok or complain loud enough, he might change his mind. I guess that's kind of like the feeling I get.
I'm interested in how Trump is going to approach China, because he's always, I'd say if, I think on one hand for me, I do, I guess, share concerns around what China's doing with our data, because we know that in China, they're a dictatorship. And so with the citizens in China, they own everything and control, the data and everything they're doing there. We know, Facebook and other popular platforms are banned in China. And here, I think TikTok is so big that it's definitely a moneymaker and even empowers a lot of, entrepreneurs and influencers to, be successful.
Yeah.
At the same time, that's just my opinion. I don't really know what to make of it.
Yeah. At this point, I like TikTok, right? I'm sure, but I use it kind of like pseudonym-ish just because of I don't want to post whatever. The internal fear that China will do something. Like, what is China going to do with me? I'm a nobody. But what if I was somebody? Then maybe they would want to. I mean, because there was news like the past couple of weeks too about China has been hacking or into kind of like our phone networks and have been tracking people for quite a while now, right? And so it's stories like that where, it is definitely not a friendly state what is it called?
100%.
Some state government, or it's not friendly to the US, right? And so they are also actively hacking the US just outright, and it's known. So yeah, so I'm sure TikTok is just a way where, I mean, the real concern is that they can just influence sentiments is really what this is getting at, which, of course, Gen Z, younger people really don't get it or don't think it's a concern because, like I just said, like if you're nobody, it's like you don't really care.
Yeah.
But it goes further than that, especially in the age of AI, where, you know, there are ways to comb through tons and tons of data to get something out of it to where you can do something. But
I think the other benefactors, and I was actually just looking up, I'm surprised Snap didn't rise as much as Meta. They rose about 5%. But actually, if you're looking at Snap, the last 2 months, they're up about 60%.
I know, it's crazy. Their numbers haven't been great either, but
Yeah.
whatever.
That's interesting to watch. And then the other benefactor, I think the bigger benefactor of this would be YouTube. Because I feel like shorts, they're really pushing people to watch more shorts.
Yeah.
And if TikTokers need to go somewhere else, then
Yeah.
it's Meta for Reels, Snap for Snaps.
Yeah.
What do they call their things? Stories or Discovery, and then YouTube for shorts.
Yeah. This is where Google doesn't get enough credit for YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But I think that also is part of the DOJ's thing. It's like maybe they need to break up Google. As a shareholder, I think YouTube would be worth way more separately than Google itself.
Totally.
Like you could play it off as a actual TikTok competitor, right? But yeah.
All right. Well, we'll follow the progression of that one. Don't want to see TikTok banned in the US, so hopefully they figure it out.
Just spin it off. Just duplicate the company and just set it up in Ireland like all the other tech companies and call it a day. Because I'm sure the European Union eventually will get to a point where, yeah, you guys are totally like not hitting our, what is it, GDPR and all this sorts of stuff. But they've been kind of, the EU surprisingly is being a bit slower than the US around this, which is surprising just because they're so adamant about privacy.
Do you want to sum up the next story?
Yeah, so Intel CEO Gelsinger, he's retired after less than 4 years, apparently.
He's retired.
Retired, yes. This is the CEO, the executive level way of saying the board was not happy with what you've done and you are out. So anyways, he's retired after only 4 years. And so, as we all know, Intel has been hitting lows, like decades lows, or the lowest it's been in decades. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's just the big news. One of the reasons it's the big news is because I believe he had a plan to where Intel was going to focus one on the foundry business on their chip design arm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's
their fabrication.
And so now there is questions about that strategy and where it goes from here. Just like, do they decide to fully go and scratch the foundry business or offload it to somebody? But yeah, so, again, the Intel saga just never ends.
I just looked up, how much did he get paid to leave? Severance package of $12 million, including a $1.9 million base salary over 18 months.
I mean, it seems like a lot, but that's actually not very much.
Not very much, no. I mean,
relative to Elon's $100 billion, at this point worth $100 billion pay package.
Yeah. He lost the company, how much? $16.6 billion. So I guess there really isn't much. And it's like, what's another, So yeah, Intel dropped pretty heavily. I was looking through all my chip stocks, and Intel's the only one that has not performed.
Of course.
Since I started DCAing and all these chip stocks about like 2 or 3 years ago. And it was down like 32%, whereas everything else was up like 50 to like, NVIDIA 200 something percent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have real questions around kind of, I think on one side, I don't think Intel is gonna like crumble. I don't think they're gonna go like bankrupt or anything. They've been around long enough that they've had, enough capital. They can reduce costs if they need to stay alive, all that stuff. And, we know chips are important for the next 50 years. And so I don't think it's going to like disintegrate. And so I think this is a good move because of how poorly Intel's been doing. I'm just interested to see what happens with it. I feel like, yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, they still have the thoughts around a sale, right? And so like selling the fab arm, selling the design arm or whatnot, I feel like that's still something that can happen. But I do want to see it turn around because Intel's one of those, darling companies from the early web days that, you're just kind of nostalgic with.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's like how you think about like IBM, right? It's just has it does have like kind of like its own legacy, but really I think it's because it's the only actual US chip maker that exists, right? And so if you want to compete with China, especially with all the tariffs that are planned, etc., China shot back, right? To Trump's 10% tariff that we talked about, was it last week or the week before, where they are just full out, right, stopping like essential like metals and minerals that are core to producing electronics, basically, and military components. And they said, yeah, well, you're not getting those anymore. What these people don't know, like China's the largest rare earth minerals provider in the world, and they basically have a lock on that because there are no other sources at the moment of these rare minerals that go into producing, chips and such. And so they've actually been pretty open about still selling it, even though at reduced levels, but they still provide the world with most of those rare earth minerals.
Yeah.
And so if they decided outright not to sell it to anybody and just keep it within China and their homies, the world be screwed. Right. And trying to go out and build up mining operations for that it just doesn't pop up. It takes years to do. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. We'll see. But this is why economists don't want trade wars, right? It's because they escalate very quickly. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We won't know until day one, until whatever executive orders Trump has lined up to execute on day one.
That's right. I did see something recently this last week where he did say on day one he has a bunch of executive orders that he's going to enact. He doesn't want to talk about them yet.
Yeah. So I don't know. Calder puts the day before inauguration. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, let's wrap it up this week with crypto talk. It's been a wild crypto month here.
Yeah. So for anybody who's not into crypto, Bitcoin hit 100K last week, or was it this week? My time frame's all messed up. Anyways, the past couple of weeks, everybody's been holding their breath on if Bitcoin can break 100K. Again, it's a big psych level for Bitcoin, all-time highs, and it's kind of been going back and forth across that level. But on top of that, which probably have seen in the news and take off, is it's like the age of meme coins in the crypto world. And so for the last crypto market bull run, it was all about NFTs. Bored Apes Club, if anybody kind of remembers that, was a thing. And then this run, it has been about meme coins. So what are meme coins? They are coins that are basically do nothing. Thus the name meme. So anyways, I thought it was interesting. I've been dabbling in them. We're basically meme coins. It ends up being like Ponzi schemes. People go in knowingly, trying to find the meme coins that will take off, dump money into it, and hopefully get out with enough profit and then rinse and repeat. And so it's basically like full on gambling. Because like meme, there's nothing backing these. They're just backed on being a meme. What are a couple of ones that are hot as examples? Peanut coin. Anybody who's on social media probably knows about Peanuts, the famous squirrel that was euthanized by New York, which is a crazy story in and of itself. Somebody created a coin called Peanuts,
Oh my god.
It literally went up to a market valuation of like almost $1 billion, I want to say.
Similar one was Mudang.
Yep. Mudang. I'm like, man, I remember seeing these and I was like, no way. But yeah, no. Anyone who got in early probably made 1,000%.
Did you hear about the Hawk tuah coin?
Yes.
Yeah. And this is why they're dangerous, right? As well. Like super risky. For myself, I don't really too much in meme coins other than some of the more well-known ones. Like technically like Doge is a meme coin and
technically
Shiba is a meme coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really do much in meme coins right now. But there was one by the famous Haley Welch, is her name? The Hawk tuah girl that everyone knows about.
Yeah.
That rose to fame because of one line.
Yeah.
They launched the Hawk tuah coin. It hit a market cap of nearly 500 million before immediately plummeting 95%.
Yeah.
So if you were to put Palin money at that top, you would have lost 95% of your money in minutes.
Yeah. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically that's called a rug pull. Like it's going up and up and up, and then someone with a big position sells everything.
Yeah.
And causes the stock to drop.
Yeah.
Instantly. It leaves people who, retail investors get the short end of the stick. But she is now being investigated for potential, bad doing there.
Yeah. I think with meme coins, if you do dabble in it, it's really to look at who the holders are and see if there's an even spread. If you see one person holding like 80% of the coin supply, it's probably better to stay away versus one where it's a little bit more evenly distributed. I know meme coins at this point, they're kind of, what is it? There's like no holding. They're just like thrown out there, and it's like whoever buys into it early kind of like has it, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, I thought it's fun, but it kind of shows you where the market is at in general. Is people, apparently there's just this money flowing around and people are just throwing it around everywhere.
It's that Bitcoin. Everyone's like selling, taking profits from their Bitcoin gains and putting into other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe for those who don't know too much about crypto too, I mean, crypto, you're investing in crypto, but some of these crypto coins are actually legitimate blockchain projects. And traditionally, that's what you're buying into, is supporting the project, basically investing in a project, just like you would invest in a company.
Yeah.
But then, because of how easy it is to create a new coin, another segment of investments, which are these meme coins, came into play. And so you're not really investing into your company. You're just, like you said, Tony, putting bets on making money.
Yeah. It's basically, I would simplify it for people who are not, because I think I've also seen a lot of posts of like, oh, my mom is asking me like how to buy Bitcoin, or can you buy me, some random coin and send it to me because I'm not sure how. So the way to think about meme coins is like you see posts on social media and you're buying into the idea that maybe it'll go viral and you'll get some FOMO, right? As far as like compensation. So that's the best way to think about meme coins. If I had to describe to my mom,
it's like day trading.
It's even worse than day trading because at least
totally, it's worse than day trading. But it's like day trading.
Yeah, it's literally you're gambling on whether you think a social post will go viral or not. Versus, I think traditional crypto, there's actually platforms being built. So the easiest way is like, I don't know, it's like you're building like another Meta, or you're building another Square. That's kind of like where Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, you kind of hear these like big names.
And it's an easier way for these projects and companies to get money, right?
Yeah.
Versus, being regulated on the stock exchange, because these companies probably don't have great fundamentals or any fundamentals.
Yeah.
They're just projects that are building towards what we think is the future related to blockchain.
Yeah. So that was interesting to talk about.
Yeah. I haven't been really doing much in the meme coins, although I've been paying attention to what's going on. I have, though, been taking advantage of this pop by investing in or buying into, I would say, projects. I would call them maybe an intersection of meme coin and projects. So they are actually projects, but they're smaller projects.
Yeah.
Some of the more popular ones have been like tuah, which, our friends Dr. Josh talks about a lot, but they're supposed to be competing with Solana in terms of like building a more optimized blockchain solution to do transactions on.
Yeah.
And gotta give our disclaimer. This isn't financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes and what we're doing.
Yeah.
Ondo has been kind of a popular one. And then artificial intelligence that is also like Chainlink, which is supposed to be the future, I guess, identification for items in the supply chain.
Yeah.
Like maybe essentially replacing UPCs, if you will.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been kind of taking advantage of those, and it's been nice. Like they've been up 20 to 60% at times.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to take some profit on there. And then I've also been starting to actually take profit on like some of these other coins like Ethereum and Solana because they're up so much. And
Yeah.
you can either keep going or it's going to come back down pretty heavily sometime. But for now, like because of the new administration and the new SEC appointee, everything's bullish.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be an extended bull run this go around. So I think play it safe, take profits as it goes, this kind of thing. I know we were talking about, I was like, I have this small stash of Cardano that I'm waiting to offload.
Oh yeah, Cardano has been crazy.
Yeah. I've had it for a while. I'm just waiting for it to get to about $3. I don't know. I might be tempted if it hits 2, if I'm really, feeling it. But
yeah, I think Cardano's up about, I saw it up almost 200% at one point in the last couple weeks here.
Yeah. I never bought back into it again because I just kind of had it there during the last bull run. I never sold it at the top. And then I was like, all right, I can't sell it now because then I wouldn't have made anything. Just had it sitting there, kind of like stakes.
Yeah, I'd say, I'm looking at it right now. Bitcoin is holding strong at 100,000, just like it's hovering
back and forth. They're struggling.
It's within 5% range of 100,000. And Ethereum's finally hit 4,000 and is holding strong there. So that's the thing to watch, like especially Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts to decline, then these alts and these memes, will decline even more.
At this point, I am waiting for the drop. There's got to be at least a 20-30% pullback. Anyways, so if anybody who's
ready for the drop to what?
Huh? Like what do you mean?
You're waiting for the drop to what? To then what? Like buy?
Yeah, like I've mostly cashed out most of my crypto at this point and only like trading. Like kind of you mentioned, I've been looking at like some like what people call level 1 type coins, which I think like tuah is like one of those.
Layer 1.
Or layer 1 type coins, like tuah, like Ondo is one of those that I actually got out of. Yeah. So I'm basically just looking for opportunities where there's significant declines. I'll probably buy back in just a little bit. But yeah, I've actually sold most of my crypto at this point.
Yeah, I've still got most of my money in there. For me, I was like, well, I was holding it, all this crypto when it was, 50% down from where it is now. Might as well just continue holding it.
You're right. Yeah. Which I think that's what a lot of old school people are doing, right? They just hold on to it.
Well, and then, the gains tax too. You pay more, obviously, for short-term gains, whereas for over a year, it's less capital gains tax. All right. Well, it's exciting for crypto stuff right now. A lot of people are making lots of money. So hopefully everyone out there is being safe.
Keep your money. So you keep your money.
Always practice good risk management with stop losses and don't go all in because I've experienced it myself. That's why I stopped day trading. Now I just mostly, do swing trading or buying low opportunities, right? Like 52-week lows, for example, because I made a bad decision once and it was not a great week. But I've grown and I'm much better now and in a better financial position now. So
Yep.
That's my old sage advice.
Yep. Yeah. I know that.
All right. Well, episode 41 in the books. We will be back next week for episode 42. Not much probably going on this week since most earnings are done, right? Or is earnings still going on?
Yeah, I think most earnings are done.
Most of the big earnings are done. We're going into the holidays. Crypto's going to continue to go up and down. Yeah, sounds like it's going to be a slow week.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, talk to you next week.
See ya.